Hi, and welcome to this video. My name is Sherry Snipe, and we will be talking about the IEP process. So, I like to give you the rundown of the list of categories that we will be covering during this video. So, number one, we'll be talking about parent and student involvement and how important it is and what role it plays in the IEP process. Then we'll be moving on to the referral process. Then we're going to talk about evaluation, eligibility, the component of an IEP or components of an IEP, elements of effective communications, and lastly, ethical responsibility. Okay, so let's start off with the idea of parent-student involvement in the IEP process. So it is important because for the parent to be involved because the parent is able to give information that's going to help determine strategies for learning goals and also instruction for her child or his child. Okay, so the student involvement is also important because students will have a better understanding of their disability and also a better understanding of the um, the supportive equipment or maybe the supportive techniques they'll be using with the student. The student will just have a better understanding about what the process is for the student to be able to achieve their learning goals. And also they'll understand what's going on with their instruction too as well. So let's move on to the referral process. And in the referral process, there's a couple of steps to take. First and foremost, the teacher has to identify the student that they have a concern for. They have to also contact the parent for permission. After receiving permission, they're going to be able to evaluate the child. And then after they perform the evaluation, a determination will be made if the child has a disability or not. If the child does have a disability, they're going to reevaluate to make sure that it is true and accurate that the child does have a disability. Now, let's move on to evaluation. The evaluation process determines the effectiveness of the program by collecting and analyzing the data. Okay, so that's just a really short one there. So let's move on to comp the components of the IEP. And there is a couple of things to state here. So there's the annual goals, special education services, accommodations, of course, goals, measurement, supplementary aids and services, also assessment, okay, and progress tracking, and also testing, okay, and for adaptations, testing adaptations. And let's move on to the elements of effective communication. So there are just a few that I want to list that will help the NIP meeting to be successful, and that's listening. Okay, so it's good to have good listening ear. Feedback. It's great to give good feedback, detailed feedback. Verbal communication. It's good to state whether or not something's working or whatever you've noticed or observed during the time period that you have been working with the student. And also confidence. Just make sure you guys just when you're in the team, make sure you guys just communicate well and just do it confidently. Okay, and also this is going to help for the teacher and school and the parent to work together successfully in order to ensure that the student is going to have academic achievement. Okay, so now let's move on to ethical responsibilities. Now, according to the Model Code of Ethics for Educators, um, I'm going to choose principle number two because it closely matches to me how teachers, staff should basically demonstrate competence. So, in which this is going to afford students access to curriculum activities and also resources in order to provide an equitable educational experience. So again, thank you so much. This is the end of the video. Thank you so much for taking time out to listen to this video, the IEP process. Again, my name is Cherie Snipe, and I am a graduate student for Grand Canyon University. Have a great day, and thank you for listening.